Hello, this is the magical minister. I always say this is your magical minister. Nobody's, right? This is the magical minister, Altheda. Welcome to my channel, my first live. Pardon me while I'm eating. It is Mother's Day. hmm And as you can see from the thumbnail and the description, this is an empathic release. And I said, oh God, I feel so full of pain, full of pressure. And I have been for a couple of months now, the trigger being my own grief to deal with and process and transmute, right? And so, when that event happened on January 3rd, that caused me to go into the darkness of grief. And it also opened up the gateway for my destiny, right? You're a healer, Altheda. You know this all along. We've been calling you. Angels have been calling me. And I knew that there's a tribe, there's work to do, and everything that was happening was related to that divine work, that divine destiny. So we come here now today. And I'm okay. So why am I weepy, cryy? And even last year, the phenomena, the stuff that us light bearers, that us, empaths, when you don't really know what it is that you're going through, it can be overwhelming. And last year, with everything going on in the world, I'd imagine that if anyone is out there that is an empath or I don't like labels because I'm not anything, but I have empathic qualities, nature, skills, talents, abilities, whatever they want to call it. But at the end of the day, it feels some kind of way. It sounds good to be, oh, I'm an empath. Niggas, it's difficult to be empathic. You feel the pain and the grief and the lowest of frequencies of those that you're sent to dwell amongst, work it out with. So, it's Mother's Day, and I am who I am. I know I've always been a particular way, a particular way, right? And I'm I'm in this world, not of this world. I do not ascribe to the things that the Matrix ascribes to. I don't, their bells and whistles, my bells and whistles are different. Anyone who is ascending and working in the area of awakening and expanding, we get it. We're not plugged into that matrix, and it doesn't turn you on. But, in this country of America, we got every kind of holiday, every kind of thing to tell you, oh, do this today, do that today, celebrate this today. Hoo for this today. It's Mother's Day. I get it. I love being a mother. It's what I came here, part of what I came here to do, but it's not the only thing that I came here to do. It's not all of who I am. But I'll digress on that note. The empathic part, the pain today, not from within. I am a mother of 3 wonderful, well-bodied, well-abled, well-spirited children, adult children. And I am so grateful. I have to preface all of this with gratitude because I am grateful that my family has remained intact and free from harm, free from tragedy, free from calamity. My bloodline, my children, my children's children, that was a decree long ago. But, you know, I know who I am, and I know what I'm called to, and I know why I'm here. I don't know every detail about how it all unfolds, but I know every bit of it has resonance, has relevance rather, and it resonates at different points along the timeline. As I reflect back, I say, "Oh, that's why I met that person." Oh, that, like for me, I, as an empath, as a Virgo, as a hermit, someone who doesn't really fool around with a lot of people anyway. I have to be that way because of my assignment and my tasks, my goals, whatever you want to call it. But with that being said, I don't fool with a lot of people because I was set apart. And I always knew I was set apart. I always knew that I am a chosen one. I am chosen. And I knew what I was chosen for. Kind of got that overstanding. Guidance has always dealt with me mercifully. Pardon the shaking. Guidance has always dealt with me mercifully, graciously, and bountifully, in that was always raising my consciousness, always raising my awareness, divine power. There's a lot of names for divine power. God, my Christ consciousness was always seeing about me, informing me, giving me the heads up, giving me the downloads, letting me know that I'm on the right path. And so everyone that I'm connected to is relevant. Every person that I have been connected to. And when I say connected, for me, connection is not always about frequency of contact. Starving. Connection is not about frequency of contact for me. How much we talk on the phone, how much we hang out, that's not how I vibe. I'm not everywhere with everybody all the time. I'm not talking about everything all the time. I don't have a lot of idle conversations, period. And I don't connect with people if there hasn't been confirmation that this really needs to be the relationship that we're having, friends, whatever. So I'm getting ready to be 50 years old. And everyone that I have a sensory connection to, did you hear? Sensory connection. Spiritually, I'm connected and I sense that in my spirit. Who is my soul tribe? Who is my family? I'm an only child for a reason on this natural plane, but on the supernatural plane, on the multiple levels of existence, I have a host of siblings. What? Say it again. I got a host of siblings that's just been waiting on me. They've been saying, "Althea, you here? Wake up. We're here. You're not alone, girl." So my Earthbound family is limited in siblings, but my Earthbound family connection or my soul tribe, identifying them is very simple because it's a very limited few. I mean, I know individuals and I'm very, and like, for instance, there's one sister in my soul tribe, whether she knows it or not, right? And this is not even a conversation that we've had. We may soon, because I believe and I know that the time is now. And part of the reason for this conversation is her pain. And so her pain and her pain and her pain and her pain, because I have a lot of sisters that have this same pain, a lot of soul sisters that have this pain that I have been alerted to. If you don't know what I mean, I overstand that. But there are those that are going to hear this message and that will get it, or that may not get it, but will be tuned in, that will be inspired to listen closely, and then they'll get it. Not just my tribe, the ones that I have in my mind's eye, but the ones that are in the divine mind, the all. Someone will hear this and they'll get something from it. And so my soul tribe on this earthbound level that I was able to identify in my natural comings and goings, I was like, I don't really know you like that, but I feel like we blood. And it's the craziest one after another. So sister. And I find that phenomena a little peculiar too. And I'm going to contact the people that be, the powers that be, the guidance for an understanding about that phenomena. Because my soul tribe that I've identified and been connected with is a sisterhood. And I'm saying, like, where's my brothers at? Where are my brothers? I know, shouldn't I have soul brothers too? We'll catch that one at another time. So, my soul sisters, this one particular sister, that's weighing heavily on my heart because I know that she is experiencing a great deal of grief. But even before today, for many years, from the onset of her significant loss, and on the onset of a few of my sisters' significant loss, I felt their pain. And I know that there is reason and purpose for that. There was a time when, knowing my calling and trying to figure out why certain phenomena were happening to me, with this issue of pain, of feeling pain, is interesting. Because although I may have been, labeled a Christian, I participated in the congregation. I remember, being an usher in the church, and me always overstanding and understanding my purpose and intention on anything that I'm doing. When, as an usher, it's like that's the point of contact that's first and foremost sometimes in a church. And I remember, ushering and overseeing a lot of funerals. And me, in my state of mind, my state of being, and this is so long ago, I'm amazed, even when I think about it, that I had the wherewithal to really just be a rational minded, but yet spiritually in touch, but not emotionally overwhelmed. And I didn't quite like understand that. And I remember asking Spirit, like, why don't I feel what they're feeling? Because, people would be in their obvious turmoil and their grief about the loss of their loved ones. And I remember, I had 3 children at this time. So I had to be, somewhere between 27 and I would say 30-ish or so. And I asked Spirit, I said, why don't I feel that level of grief? I didn't understand or understand, their feeling of not really being able to put in perspective that loss comes with life, and so I didn't understand the what I thought or felt was, that deep, unreasonable pain. And I remember asking Spirit, because I knew enough to know that, like, I want to identify with that. I need to know what that feels like. Because I didn't want to feel like I was insensitive. Like, wow, Altheda, how come you don't feel this woman just lost her son? And I felt the pain, but released it. But then I would feel some kind of way after funeral after funeral after funeral. I overstood and just processed my higher mind, divine self. You process that pain and that grief. But I remember asking for the feeling. And I didn't get it then. That was some years well ago. There are so many lessons that, divine was so many downloads, so many instructions that I received, always a plethora. And I didn't even, I knew that I was chosen. I knew I was anointed. I knew I was connected. But to have an understanding and overstanding of that which transpired then, to see it now is like, what? This is where I was coming, and we're not even done yet. Wow. So I asked to feel. And guess what? Feel, you will feel. Altheda, you will feel. So COVID comes up, and I, at the same time, give up alcohol consumption to the last drop. And why that was so pertinent, right? Alcohol consumption. And we'll talk about that. Like, we got so much to talk about. And this thing right here, this is day one. This is day one. I didn't do lives. I didn't plan to do lives. Planning to talk is hard for me because I'm a Virgo. I'm fluid with it. And guidance doesn't work on plans. Guidance don't work on plans. So this is live and I can't even control how this goes. So that's why I'm here. So COVID comes, and at the same token, I finally listened to what the Spirit told me 20 years ago. 20 years prior to my last drink. The divine Spirit tells me in the pool while I'm at an all-inclusive drinking it up, one day you're going to have to stop drinking. Huh? I'm on my honeymoon. All right. No, really, one day you're not going to be able to drink at all. Well, that day came, and it came with a vengeance. Nonetheless, I stopped drinking, and 2020 unfolded, and COVID was launched. COVID was launched, and it started to go. And during that time, the world was shook. The world was actually put on standstill. But the world had to deal with their emotions, had to deal with themselves, had to look themselves in the face, and look each other in the face. And I noticed that I stopped drinking in March, and full moon, June 2020, I have it in my grimoire. I know it was a significant time. Every day is significant in my opinion. However, the June 9th full moon was, Virgos have photographic memories. We remember the shit we want to remember. And that's on the radar right there. June 9th, full moon, I recall releasing some things and settling like, okay, I'm done with all that the old nature stuff. And during that time, by May, June, I would say like by May and June, I didn't understand it, but I was so emotional. Like my children would be like, oh, you're so emotional. And it was like, I won't say it was like my awakening was so overwhelming, but the fact that I was sobered and grateful. I don't even think it was the sobering. It was the gratefulness that I made it through. Y'all don't understand that I made it through and through the darkest nights of my soul. And I got in touch with some of the heavier frequencies of life, and And only I and the Most High God got me out of that depth of despair. When I came out and overcame, I had all power, and I still do. But power is what? A charge. And when I tell you I've been charged up so much so since 2020 with emotion, like May and June, I was just weepy, but in a like an empathetic way. And I could sense that something was different. Like, why am I'm not feeling badly, but I'm weepy over things that don't seem to warrant weepiness. But then I realized that my empathic ability has been ignited, activated. And so it's very highly engaged. And it's engaged because there is a purpose and the sensations, the pressure that I mentioned is because I have to speak. I have to use my voice. I have to release. I'm not exactly sure to say, oh, this is what God wants me to do. This is what Spirit wants me to do. But I do know that He wants me to open up my mouth. And that's a fact. That's what I'm called to do. That's what I've always done. And although I've been putting out content and I can talk a person in the hole, and I have. Spirit wants me to start to share in this way, in this way, and in every way, in the moment, at the hour, when I speak, when I say, when I'm motivated, inspired. And today's inspiration, and today, Divine's heart is heavy. Or just wants to acknowledge the heavy heart. Divine wouldn't have a heavy heart. But Spirit wants to acknowledge the heavy heart of the mother who suffered loss. Spirit knows you're going through your pain. And just want you to know that you have a right to feel your pain. And you don't have to have excuses for why you hurt so bad. You don't have to feel shame because you're mad as all hell. I mean, you're ugly mad, and it's okay. That's what Spirit wants you to know. Spirit knows that you don't know how to get away from it. But Spirit wants you to know that whenever you are ready, all you got to do is let it go. Loss and grief is what they say, it's individual. Everybody processes differently, and everyone should be allowed to do it as they see fit, as it works for them in their particular circumstance. And yet, that's still not enough. It still doesn't give us the how do we get through this? How do we get past it? You stay in it and you feel it and you allow it You don't apologize for it. And you release it. I know that divine would want us to consider in trying to transmute this painful energy into something that is profitable, because it's the energy is love, and it's not going to go anywhere. It's not going to disappear. It's just going to transmute from one frequency to the other. It's either going to be very low, and low levels of love looks like hate. Low levels of love can also feel like pain. But the higher frequencies of love are bliss and joy and happiness. It puts the smiles on your face. So you want to take that one element, love, and get it from this lower scale that keeps you feeling, because that's where we are allowing ourselves to be, because we want to flesh through that pain. But when you want to get past that pain and you want to overcome it, you got to transmute that somehow, getting love frequency to come from here to here. It's still love. So how do you do that? You got to think your way up. You got to feel your way up. You got to love your way up. And so anything that is of a frequency or of a mindset that is not resonating with that love is going to keep you low. It's going to keep you in pain. It's going to keep you in despair. It's going to keep you in anger. But that's okay if it's okay with you. Sometimes we just need to be in that place of pain, because sometimes there's so much pain. It might seem like this one thing that's grieving us, but usually pain, it's a gang. It's a gang of instigators. But I needed to come because I was in tears about Mother's Day, and I've got it all lined up as a blessing on my account. But it's not always, it's not about me. It's not about one person. It's about all of us. And so, I think it not robbery to refrain from just going along with the public displays of Happy Mother's Day, because there are people that are not so happy, that can't even spell the word today because they've lost someone, a child. And Happy Mother's Day just doesn't feel the same for everyone. And because I've acknowledged that, and I'm aware and I feel your pain, I was called to just come today and let you know what I believe the divine would have you to know. We're always with you. So I pray that you will enjoy the rest of your day. I thank you for tuning in, and like, share, subscribe. But even if you don't do that, thank you for coming again, and come back. Enjoy your day. Namaste. Blessed be.